Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. My name is Ahmad Shari Al-Khawarizmi. As presenter, I want to present our topic, that radical Islam and its threat to global security. The first thing is introduction. I want to introduce what our topic is. Radical Islam poses a significant global security threat extending beyond Muslim majority nations, characterized by extremist interpretation of Islamic teaching. This movement prioritizes violence leading to terrorism and instability worldwide. Acts by groups like Al-Qaeda and ISIS result in substantial casualties, material losses, and psychological trauma. The opposition to legitimate government further contributes to political and economic instability, affecting global dynamics. Mitigating this threat involves promoting moderate Islamic teaching, addressing socio-economic disparities, and enhancing education, aiming to prevent the emergence of radical movement and foster global stability. In this research conducted in October 2023, employs qualitative methods to investigate and elucidate the global security threat posed by radicalism. It relies on library research and utilizes secondary data from relevant books and journal articles to analyze the phenomenon. The analytical strategy involved connecting known facts to form a comprehensive and fact-based explanation of radicalism, aiming to provide methodical understanding of the subject. History of the emergence of radical Islam. The term radicalism in a religious context, particularly in Islam, lacks an equivalent in Arabic dictionary and is often associated with Western concepts such as Islamic fundamentalism or extremism. While interchangeable with terms like fundamentalist Islam, radical Islam is frequently linked to a rejection of liberal interpretation, potentially leading to narrow views and destructive actions. Radicalism extends beyond physical violence to include ideological radicalism, posing a problem when such radical thought push movements advocating violence to eradicate perceived deviation from religious teaching. The origin of Islamic fundamentalism in 20th century, notably popularized during the Iranian Revolution in 1979, marked a significant development. The Khawarij, an early radical movement in Islam, emerged amid political conflict, opposing those who disagreed with its doctrine, which include radical and fanatical teaching. Modern Khawarij, akin to their predecessor, legitimate conflict and violence in the name of Islam, demonstrating a radical religious perspective rooted in the doctrine of Takfirism. Next is factors that encourage Islamic radicalism. There is three factors that encourage Islamic radicalism. There is economic, social, and political condition. The emergence of fundamental radicalism and terrorism is a reaction to the dissatisfaction of some group with the economic, social, and political condition within the country. The members of the radical group themselves come from various circles with different backgrounds in terms of economics. Not all of them come from groups with bad economic factor. Some even come from groups with a well-established economy. This can show that radicalism originating from the economy is not solely from personal economic condition, but in the form of empathy and the desire to change the economy globally. For a long time, the issue of injustice has been known by experts as the main factor in understanding the emergence of violent behavior. Radicalism is basically a response to ongoing conditions in social movement. The order they promote often use human values, giving rise to an emotional attitude that justifies all acts of violence. The condition of the socio-political framework influence change in the behavior and form of religious group. Change in world politics as part of globalization policies will cause change in attitudes and religious patterns of religious organizations. The next is the role of the internet and social media in the spread of radical ideology. Global capitalism has an important role in the spread of radical ideology on social media. The spread of radical ideology carried out by a number of extremist groups on social media is a global capitalist profit that is always ready to be saved at any time. These actions bring huge profits to social media companies. These profits are obtained from the distribution of content posted via social media account owned by radicals. The ability of social media managers to stem the spread of negative content is not being implemented. Social media managers carried out their role as means or channel for spreading message containing radical ideology. Next is threats to global security. Radical Islam, particularly associated with a group like Al-Qaeda and ISIS, pose a significant threat to global security. The rise of radicalism in Asian countries such as Indonesia not only jeopardizes local security, but also extend risks to other regions, including ASEAN. Influenced by ideologies like ISIS, radicalism in Indonesia involves various non-mainstream Islamic organizations embracing extremist views. This perception of Islam as a religion of terror can lead to discrimination against Muslims, further fueling radicalism. The impact of radical Islamism on regional and global security is substantial, necessitating a comprehensive approach involving education, law enforcement, and community engagement to prevent its spread. Government, including local authorities, play a crucial role in implementing strategies such as the radicalization program to address this threat and ensure political stability, international peace, and global economic security. Efforts to overcome radicalism. There is two types of approach that can overcome radicalism. The first is hard approach. Hard approach, or what could be called the firm approach, is a repressive action carried out by BNPT in collaboration with Densus 88. This collaboration takes the form of law enforcement as a form of follow-up from the government against the perpetrators who use weapons. The second is soft approach. Soft approach is a preventive action carried out by government in the form of education, outreach, and de-radicalization. This effort involves several parts of society such as academics, religious leaders, community leaders, and youth. The aim of this approach is so that people have understanding and awareness of radicalism, the characteristics and consequences of radicalism itself. Uh, In carrying out the radicalism program in Indonesia, the Radicalism Directorate under Deputy 1 for Prevention, Protection, and De-radicalization has four approaches, which include reduction, rehabilitation, resocialization, and reintegration. The de-radicalization program has six objectives to be achieved, namely, first, do counter-terrorism. Number two, avoiding the process of radicalism. Number three, anticipate provocation, the spread of hatred and division between religious groups. Number four, prevent the public from being exposed to radical doctrine. Number five, increase public understanding to reject terror ideology. Number six, expanding understanding through comparison with terror ideology. BNPT faced various challenges and obstacles, both from internal and external sources, in its effort to beat de-radicalization. These obstacles and challenges are as follows. There is two type of challenge and obstacle. The first is internal. There is 3 points in internal. Number one, lack of competent human resource capable of carrying out the mandate to be able to design and develop policy strategies as a form of countering terrorism. Number two, in terms of regulation, BNPT has limited mobility because it is regulated by presidential regulation, which is different from other national bodies which are regulated by law. Number three, need for institutional reorganization. And second type is external. There is 3.2. Number one, lack of involvement of all parties in society in supporting efforts to counter terrorism. Funding provided by state to support efforts to prevent and overcome terrorism is minimal. Number three, lack of public understanding regarding countering terrorism. And the last is conclusion. Radical Islam is another term for Islamic fundamentalism, denotes a phenomenon of Islamic revival often accompanied by extreme militancy and fanatism. Originating from the Khawarij sect from the Jamal and Siffin wars, radical Islam legitimates violence by considering majority perpetrators as infidels. Its growth is influenced by economic, social, and political factors. Despite utilizing social media, this group content isn't effectively controlled, associated with threats to global security, especially through groups like Al-Qaeda and ISIS. Radicalism in Asian nations, notably Indonesia, requires addressing root cause. Government, society, and international cooperation play crucial roles. Indonesia counterterrorism efforts involve the Badan Nasional Penanggulangan Terorisme or BNPT, employing both hard and soft approach along with the radicalization program while facing internal and external challenge. Maybe enough from me. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.